Welcome, 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 everybody. Happy Tuesday. Want to welcome you guys back to another amazing masterclass today. To all the dream chasers out there and global visionaries, today we have way more than a meeting, way more than a masterclass. This is going to be a moment to remember. Definitely a moment where borders don't define the opportunities presented to us in real estate and in entrepreneurship. So this is going to be an excellent call where you're going to find that leadership is going to definitely rise above our locations, right? Who's up for that? Let's go. Yes. So we're honored today to feature a powerhouse leader, just a trailblazer that's shaping the future of real estate in Latin America. So as we spotlight the explosive growth, right, and the limitless potential of eXp Mexico, I want you guys to lean in with just a mindset of expansion. Show up right now in this present moment with a mindset of expansion. Take diligent notes and just dive into this amazing conversation that we're going to have today. Because in the words, I love quotes, right? And there's this amazing quote by Nelson Mandela that talks about that everything just seems impossible until it's done. And what we're building in Mexico, in the United States, and in over 26 countries right now in this amazing company is proof that with vision and leadership, collaboration of amazing minds, it can and will be done. So today I would love to give a formal introduction to our country leader in eXp Mexico. Chuy Gastelum is a husband of an extraordinary woman and a proud father to Frida and Maya. Chuy describes himself as a passionate about life. His mission is to help real estate agents in Mexico grow their wealth and support agency leaders in achieving the exponential growth and financial freedom they've always dreamed of. His advice doesn't just come from books. It's rooted in 3 generations of real estate professionals. Both his grandfather and his father were agents, and Chuy went on to build one of the top real estate firms in Yucatan, Mexico. He holds a bachelor degree from Tecnológico de Monterrey, a master's from the London School of Economics, and an MBA in business. He is also a certified real estate professional. Absolutely love that about him. And today, Chuy leads eXp Realty operations in the country of Mexico, combining both passion and strategy to empower real estate professionals in the country and abroad. So without further ado, I'd love to bring up my brother, Chuy, to the stage.
Joseph, hello. Thank you so much for the invite.
Welcome to the call, my brother. Thank you for being on this masterclass with us, with our audience of amazing agents and entrepreneurs. It's a pleasure to have you join us today.
Thank you so much. Actually, I'm really happy. Every time that I have the opportunity to really, connect with more agents, tell them, the story about Mexico and how we can grow our business together, it's really a great opportunity for me. So thank you so much for inviting us.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I know out here, I'm in California, and many of our agents in our Dreamchasers organization are constantly asking, like, how do I connect? Like, how do I do business in Mexico? I know that this company's, now in a multitude of countries, but the knowledge and the connection that you're going to provide today is going to be insightful for us to be able to build and grow together. So we're really excited to have you on, sir.
Thank you, Joseph. So please feel free, everyone that is right now today connected, share all the type of questions, inquiries, doubts, everything that you might have in relation to the Mexican market. Let me know. If I have obviously the answer, I'll come back into that. And if not, just send me an email through Workplace, send me a message, and I'll come back to you with the answer. So we're going to have a lot of fun today.
Let's go. Let's go. And for those of you that are watching this live on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, would highly encourage you guys, feel free to throw some chats, some emojis in the comments box, and we'll make sure that we address any questions at the end of this class. But without further ado, Chuy, I'm going to give you the stage, my brother, because I know you have a phenomenal presentation that you'd love to share with us.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. So guys, let me first of all present myself. Thank you so much, Joseph, because you already mentioned some of the stories. But as everyone today, just like hearing this, great content, I'm a real estate agent, and I'm broker owner. So your fears are my fears, and how to list properties, how to get more buyers and stuff like that. It's the same thing, and we're not that different sometimes as we think, right, between countries and borders. Nevertheless, Mexico obviously has their own culture, legal matters, the context, the fiscal, and so on and so forth. So basically, what I want to share today is because we are well connected between countries. We have so much history, and given that we are just next door, I know that there's tons of opportunities to making business. But sometimes, even though I know that there's, and I don't know if you know this data, but like your census, the American census says that there's more than 20 million Mexicans living in the States, talking about like, second generation, third generation, fourth generation. So they could be born, but their parents, their grandparents, have this connectivity, which means, by the way, that sometimes you could be born, or your granddad, right, in Veracruz, and for some reason you are now the grandchild, but you are doing well and you feel that you have some connection with Mexico, or you are Colombian, Venezuelan, but you know that Mexico is a beautiful country, or you don't even have the Hispanic roots, but you love what you can find in Mexico, and you're looking for your clients the second home or an investment and stuff like that, and you want to do more business. But sometimes, even though we are 87,000 agents, sometimes he's, well, how do I start? How can I connect? How can I do more business? How can I, get in touch with the right person? Or if I have a client that wants to sell his property, how do I? Because obviously we have the referral platforms. We'll talk a little bit more deeper into that. But as well, if I have a client that wants to buy in a specific place, or sometimes they just know that Mexico could be a place to start, but Mexico is big, right? It's big, and the territory is quite as well, quite big as well. So you can find all type of temperatures, ecosystems. So you can be, definitely getting lost really fast. So what we will be showing you today is how to do business with Mexico, so you can get a full picture about what it's all about. If you end up, seeing that something was left out, please let me know. You can always follow in our YouTube channel, eXp Mexico, but you can go into the workplace and send us a message. Now into Slack, which I know that we will be jumping soon enough. Instagram, and you can follow me as well in my Instagram account, which is Chuy Gastelum. By the way, my name is Jesus. Maybe for the guys who already know, Jesus, Jesus is, the name. And in Mexico, everyone's, the nickname for Jesus is Chuy. So obviously now you're my friends as well, my fellow colleagues, my real estate agent colleagues. So feel free to follow me on Instagram, Chuy Gastelum Coach. Then you will be finding a lot of cool information. You just follow me, send me a text. And by the way, guys, this presentation that you are about to see, that it's in English, if you wanted to have access through your Canva, so you can edit and put your own picture and stuff like that, because you're interested in promoting more, this type of relationships, let me know. And I can send it to you as well, the link, so you can get it yourself and you can copy, edit it, and let me know, right? Because all this material is restrictive, is actually open for all of you guys. So let me know as well while we go and moving forward. What do you think? So let's jump here. Give me 1 second. Got it. Perfect. So in theory, I know that you're looking into my screen, but please triple check. Just send me in the chat. Chuy, it's fine. I'm looking into your presentation. So today we're going to be looking into how to do business with Mexico. In how many ways, Chuy, right? Because there's different ways that we could be talking. So first of all, and before talking about the 4 lanes that we could be thinking of doing business with Mexico, let me tell you a little bit about data that maybe you are already aware, or maybe you're not. So Mexico, as you know, it's in the south of the US, and it's 120 million population. I know that sometimes people tend to think that it's like a shorter in terms of population, but it's way big. Thank you so much, Joseph. Appreciate it. So we're the 12th biggest economy worldwide. We have strong connection with many countries. We are one of the few Latin American countries that have international trades agreements with the European Union, with Asia, with APEC, with all of the countries. We are a big economy that sometimes people tend to think that it's, low cost labor, but no, we are having tons of different lanes in terms of business unit developments that is, driving the whole economy for Mexico. then something important that you should know. 40 million people visited Mexico last year. So if you go into the data and see, which one is one of the top countries most visited every year, Mexico is one of those countries. And every time you get someone that visits this beautiful country, you will find a big piece of the cake that they will want to come back to invest or to do something different, but they will want to come back or lease. I don't know. So in that sense, just like pay attention into this type of data, because this is a huge market. And when it comes to the connection between the US and Mexico, it's even bigger. So that's, a cool thing and to know. And then another one that is quite interesting, because I know that sometimes people tend to think that Mexico is a violent place, because sometimes you hear all this type of news. Sometimes people tend to think that we're not well advanced economy, that it's a development economy, but it's not as big as we think, and is not that actually in reality. So we are one of the top 10 best countries where American citizens want to live and want to move. So knowing this, you should know that if you want to do business, obviously representing your seller or representing your buyer, but then later on, turning that sale and that income into another transaction in Mexico, that's really easy. And you should know that it's really important, because the ticket is going to be lower. And even though you can find any different types of places, we will be talking a little bit more about these potential places. So, and why? So this is the next point. So Mexico is one of the 10 more affordable countries to live outside the US. So Mérida, the place where I live, which is in the south, where you will find now the new Mayan train that is connecting Cancun, Mérida, Palenque in the south, going all the way into like Tulum, Playa del Carmen, these beautiful places. It's so much more affordable from comparison of living, in North Carolina, in South Carolina. I know that there's plenty beautiful different places in the US, but we receive tons of people in the US because we know that you can get certain benefits in terms of tax. I'll talk into that later on. Then we have so much connectivity in terms of an airport, so you can go and take a direct flight to lots of places in the US. Seriously, there's tons of direct flights from different cities elsewhere. So that's, the connectivity, the affordability, and you should know there are really peaceful places, safe cities, so you can be living. So not everything that sometimes we hear in the news is true. Obviously, we could be finding, dangerous places, but that's going to be a reality as well within the US, in Canada, in the UK. I used to live in the UK for my master's degree in London. And I know that there was some scary places in London that you don't want to go, right? But that's just like the story of humankind. Like, you should be knowing in advance where you don't want to go and where you want to go, where you want to hang out and where you don't want to hang out. So it's the same here in Mexico. So the only thing is that obviously you have to be in touch with a good agent, that he knows his territory, that he knows the data, that he knows the social, the security, the educational offer, the supply, everything. And then last, we are, the second largest trading partner of the US, which means that we are well connected as well in terms of economical. So this is just like a general data that I wanted to share with you guys. And now let's talk a little bit more about, the real estate market. So you are getting a better, closer glimpse about, our market. So most of the times, real estate agents tend to think that in Mexico, there's no regulation in real estate whatsoever. But that's not a reality. In reality, we have 32 states. Just like you have 50 in the US, we have 32. And from those 32, 23 already have regulation. Some of them well advanced, some of them they're like on their way, and as you can see, we have some pending states that they haven't, their local Congress comply and, get together so they can formally launch the local legislation. But as you will see, that's, a good beginning, because you will find lots of states like Quintana Roo, where you will be finding Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Tulum, which is a beautiful place where all the real estate agents need to have a license. And within eXp, we are members of the National Association of Realtors. You should know that in advance. And which means that we are the only association in Mexico that it's part of the NAR in the US. So most of the AMPI members that you will find in Mexico, you should know that they are members. For example, I am member of the NAR as well. So we are well connected in that sense as well. And a good norm that I would love, to pay attention to it is the Norm 247. Norm 247 was launched in 2022. Sometimes people, say, hey, how will you be protecting the buyer? And I know that we have escrow accounts. You should know that as well. So we have, we don't have like the same exactly, transaction process like in the US. We have a different one, different players as well. But we have some of the inputs that you are always looking forward with your clients that you're representing to have, such as an escrow account. We have them as well. Mortgages as well. I'll speak into that later on. But the Norm 247, which is something that I like, is for every client that wants to buy something new from a developer. In the past, sometimes there was some people that they were saying, hey, but watch it because there might be some type of scam right there in the market and stuff like that, and nobody's protecting the buyer and stuff like that. Well, from 2022, the Norm 247 is protecting the buyers and telling the rules for all the sellers and the developers, which means that all the pull aparts and how your property should be delivered. For example, the inspections that I know that it's common and normally in the US. In Mexico, to be honest, that was not part of the whole deal in transactions, but nowadays the Norm 247 is bringing this, new type of, inspections before the house is turned out, the apartment, the condo, the land, whatever you're buying. So that's something that you should know that is going to be protecting the buyer side, which means that if you end up having an issue, you already know which one is the email account, the number, everything. So you can file a first case before going into the lawyers and go and try to save your money or, obviously get the information that you need or the fixes, because maybe you don't want to go, into that. You just want your house or apartments, whatever you bought, to be fixed, and they will be protecting you, which is Profeco, right? The institution behind it. So this Norm 247 is really important because it's as well enhancing our market, giving more trust to the market, giving more trust to foreigners, giving more trust to the local ones as well that are buying a new property. So they will be protected from the developers. Then another thing that sometimes people don't know, and now it's a reality. Sometimes American agents tend to think that there's no MLS in Mexico. So here's good news for everyone that are listening. Within eXp, we are one of the few big agencies in Mexico that has MLS, which means that we are connected to other 13 MLS in the US, which means that you can go and in comparison to the ones in the US, I know that, for example, in California, you could have like 4 MLS, right, in the same state. But this one, it's a big MLS where you will find all the exclusive listing in the right price, in English, in USD, in Spanish, and like soon enough is going to be in Portuguese and French as well. So by saying these guys is that we are bringing these new tools for all the community of eXp agents here in Mexico, but as well to bringing and connecting more. Just to let you know, like these 13 MLS are representing something around 500,000 agents that could go now through their own MLS and jump into ours and see the listings that we have into the market, so they can start doing the CMAs and everything that you do in the US. Now you can start doing that here in Mexico. We are so glad that we are members of Omni MLS, which is the name of the MLS, Omni MLS. If you want more information as well, give me, the possibility to share that information with you guys, because now we will be so much connected. So you can share your link with your own personal brand and your company's brand, and they will just give the heart, and you will be knowing, obviously, behind doors, which are the properties that they're liking. So you could start doing more business. So that's an important thing. Another one that I love like sharing is that we're building this great partnership with Moxie. Moxie Mortgages is a company that is granting mortgage loans to Americans that want to buy a property in Mexico with a 30-year loan, length, which is something amazing. Something that you should know in advance is that sometimes, the rate exchange here in Mexico, they tend to be higher than in the US. I know that right now it's a market that is, coming a little bit above. If I'm not wrong, right now your rate exchanges in the mortgage is around like 7, 8 sometimes. Mexico, it's going to be right now in 10, 11, sometimes 12. So that is a reality that, you should know in advance. And as well, something important. When you are, which is the last point, if you want to buy a property in Mexico that is going to be 50 kilometers away, less, you're right from the Mexican coast or 100 kilometers away from the north border from the US or from the south with Guatemala and Belize, then all the foreign, no nationals, no citizens, they will be entitled to buy the property. Yes, you can be for sure on that one. We're always granting, all the protection for our clients within eXp Mexico and the Mexican market, but you should do it if it's going to be less than 50 kilometers away from the Mexican coast or less than 100 kilometers away from the northern border or the southern border. Then you should need to buy the property through a land trust or through a company. We can be fixing you as well if you have a potential client that wants to buy. And why is that the reason, Chuy? Well, that's a historical reason that comes for more than 200 years ago, where they were claiming that, the foreign countries in the past, they were not paying taxes and stuff like that. So they decided, and more history between like California, Texas, and you maybe don't know, but like that used to be part of the Mexican territory in the past. So now, after those type of changes in historical context, they decided that they were going to be switching. So the only way that you can get property as a foreigner in the border or in the Mexican coast with these measurements already mentioned, it's through the land trust, which is normally, there's like thousands of people that do that. It's completely legal, so you could be at all times protected. So that's not a problem. But just let you know something about real estate when it comes about the Mexican market. And now some relevant info as well. Something that you should know is that there's 1.6, and we believe that we have way more. But according to the census, there's 1.6 million US citizens living in Mexico, residing here, which means that obviously we are, a cool and interesting country to, as well as I will already mention, affordable and with a good, going to the beach or Mexican little towns or going into big cities such as Mexico City, Monterrey, Guadalajara. And then as well, the current thing for migration status is quite easy to get the permanent residence, but first you will have to go through the temp one, which is really easy. If you already have a client that needs something like this, let me know, and we can put you in contact with the right person that could help you on this one. And the most popular cities that a lot of people, are wondering and willing to visit is obviously Mexico City, Guadalajara, that I already mentioned, Puerto Vallarta, which is in the coast. One of our top agents, they're focused on currently these markets that we're saying right now. So Monterrey, Puerto Vallarta, Riviera Nayarita, which is along two different states, but now like well together and bonded. Metropolitan zone, as we call them. And then obviously the Riviera Maya. Riviera Maya, a lot of people, maybe they haven't heard about Mexico, but when it comes about Cancun, they know Cancun. They know Cancun, they know Playa del Carmen, they know Tulum. So all this beautiful part of the Riviera Maya, part of the Caribbean, they have like these blue, turquoise, beautiful seas. The coral reefs from Cozumel, they're completely amazing. We have cool agents that they could be helping you as well. If you are interested in some of these markets, let me know. Maria Larson is wondering if this is recorded. I know that Joseph will tell you, Maria, this in a minute. I hope, Maria, that you're liking this conversation. Let me know. Perfect. Joseph saying is yes, it is. So guys, let's go to the point. Yes, Chuy, thank you so much for the big contest, but tell me how I will be making a lot of money with you and all the Mexican agents through eXp. So you will be able to jump into my eXp and go into the referrals. So you can find, all the agents that we have, but always you can look for me in Workspace or jumping as well into Slack and like send me a text or send me through Instagram to let me know, right, which specific city is your client interested, because I know that, as I already mentioned at the beginning, is quite big. And the referrals, they're quite just like, I know that, for example, like things change a lot in the last 2 years within the US and the real estate market. Here is going to be the same. You will be in agreeing, the commission between the two agents, and everything is going to be down in a contract, which we already have the referral agreement. So that's really good in that sense. Then the second way to do business with Mexico is grow your rev share. And how can you do that, Chuy? There's already, tons of people doing this, because in the past with the local sponsorship, it was really nice. But now with the co-sponsor, the market has gone really cool in a positive way, because now you can get the two best things in the world, which is have two really good mentors. In the past, it was hard because you wanted to have, the proximity with the person that invited you, but sometimes they don't live in the country. So you end up, choosing another sponsor that you believe that locally could help you even more. But nowadays, you can get the best of the two worlds. You can get, the sponsorship or the co-sponsorship from the guy in the other country, and he will be able to teach you because your success is our success. That's what, our mentality at all times. And we can bring you, through the co-sponsor and really enhance and like let you thrive in your own strategy to really, take your business into the next level. So rev share, as I already mentioned, we are a huge market. And I have to say that the way that we could still, there's so much opportunities to grow here that if you start contacting the right agents, that you could be finding them on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these social media, you will find really good agents that they're doing a really good job. And I'm willing, let me know if you bring a good team. I'm always open so I can share with you that meeting and we can both together work so we can bring them on board, because my success as well is measured on how many cool agents and brokers we bring into eXp Mexico. So if you have a potential candidate, let me know and let's work together. And that's another way, because obviously once they start closing transactions, you will be getting a piece of that cake. Number 3 is a dual membership. I know, as I already mentioned, I know there's some of my, interesting agents that say, hey, Chuy, I live like 6 months in Mexico, 6 months in the US. I'm an active agent in the US, but I want to be an active agent in Mexico as well and start representing buyers or sellers. So yes, that is a fact. Obviously, you have to, first of all, have the residence, the temp one at least. And from there, we can move forward really fast. Before that, obviously, you're not allowed to because you don't have the permission. If you're just a tourist, then you're not allowed to. But besides that, once everything is agreed, and seriously, it's not as hard as you think, then you can start doing the dual membership, because you will be then operating here in Mexico in the place that you're living. Like, if you work more than 3 months in a place, then why not representing and, getting in touch when you already know, and we can help you out with all legal things. Because remember that one of the benefits that our agents locally receive here in Mexico is that we have our legal area. And through there, they will be like advising you in terms of like fiscal matters, taxes, all the, laws that are included within every transaction. So that's something that you should know in advance. And then the number 4, which is build your team and expand your operations. Have you heard about the self-organized teams? So if you are someone, right, hearing this news and you want to start your own team here in Mexico, let me know. Let's talk, right? Because if you're already a big company, a big brokerage within eXp, and you're, I don't know, in New Hampshire, or you're in Boston, or you are in Washington, Seattle, and you want to see your business grow and you have a lot of connectivity with Mexico, but you're just referring, but now you think that you could be, training agents and building your team, let's talk more, because then you could be, growing. In Dominican Republic, it already happened this year. Pedro is doing a fantastic job down there. And now we're having, the potential to really help lots of different agents. So these are, the main ways that we could be doing business. The referral platform, I don't want to go too deep into that because I bet that you already know, which is really easy. Just like to say, hey, I want to invest in Acapulco, Chuy. So you just go and write Acapulco or write Cancun or write Mexico City, write Guadalajara, and you'll get, the list of all the agents. But I know that sometimes you just want not to refer to anyone, but one of the top ones, our cappers, our icons, which is fine. Send me a text and I will be able to tell you along with my team, because sometimes I will be just like asking the request to Fabian, Orte, or Grini to help us, right? To like send you the right place. Hometown Acapulco, Maria, yes, beautiful place. So through the referrals, it's really easy to do business. And through the rev share, the only thing that I will be saying for the co-sponsorship, remember that we only have 5 days. Once the new agents are onboarded, they have 5 days to go through the process and choose within my eXp. Once again, choose the co-sponsorship, choose the right person. If you end up knowing that this guy is a Mexican real estate agent and you don't know who could be that great co-sponsorship, ask me. Hey, Chuy, I have this potential client. He will be entering in Zihuatanejo, in Ixtapa, or I don't know, Querétaro, San Miguel de Allende. And he wants to know who could be helping him, because I will be his sponsor, but he wants someone locally that they will be empowering them. So let me know, and we will be, making all the follow-up so they can definitely, thrive in the meantime. Then for the double membership, we have tons of agents. Seriously, tons of agents there. And yes, Chuy, you have to pay. Yes, guys, you have to pay your membership in the US and your membership in Mexico. How much is your membership in Mexico. It's 75 USD per month. I know that in the US, it's around 80. So you will be close to it. That's one of them. And the platforms that you should know in advance as well is different. So we have the same categories that you have: platforms, training, all the staff that is helping you at all times, the brokers, which is me. And then finally, all the incentives, which are more or less similar into the US. I know that it's just one company, but like for report does not work here. So we have, Easy Broker, and then we have like other platforms that we will be later on showing you a little bit around. So we will have the same categories, same highways, but with some different brands, because that's the way that it runs here. Mexico has its own country-specific trainings, technology, and resources. Indeed. So that is part of the whole things that we're saying right now. And then build your team, right? Which for me, that would be amazing. If you are already, thriving in your own market and you have a team, but you would be willing to really cross borders and think about, starting how to expand, because this is what eXp is all about. Like, let's expand and let's think how we can make, grow your business. Let me know how you want to be doing this, and let's, try to build this self-organized team. So this is, the team that we're helping you, the legal one, the agent services, Fabian from the onboarding, Orte from the transactions, Jorge from finance, and I'm your broker of Mexico. And maybe just like someone right now is requesting, but hey, Chuy, could you give us just a little detail about what's are, these benefits? Sure. So you can get, just like a good picture of this. So we have Workplace, where everyone is, from eXp down there. Easy Broker is the listing management tool. So this one, you will be able to jump into all our listing. If you jump into expmexico.mx, you will be finding all the listing down there in Easy Broker in our website. Omni MLS is the MLS that I already mentioned. Remember? So the world, everyone knows the world. Canva Pro and AvaClick for the CMAs, our platform to make each agent has every month 10 possible CMAs that they could be doing through AvaClick. So that's our CMA platform, really good one. They will be providing you the information in USD and Mexican pesos on how much it will be, the selling price, then a rental price as well. And then we have the drop sign as well to sign all our agreements. And then obviously the CRM, which right now currently we're switching into a new one. So I'll let you know once we are ready into that one. So these are like the first 7 benefits that an agent receives, or someone within a broker that joins our team. Then the portals, which is, just like Realtor.com or Zillow, that I know that there has, you have to be there. So here in Mexico, you have to be in Viva Anuncios, Inmuebles 24, Mercado Libre, and La Moody. And all your properties from our agents are published in these portals. And then we have the international ones, which is ProperStar, which is going to be in US and Canada. They have as well their own portals in Europe. Realtor.com. So we receive tons of, direct clients, leads that are coming from Realtor.com, that it's actually connected to Omni MLS and the global referral platform that I already mentioned. When it comes about training, and Joseph already mentioned, thank you so much, Joseph, for bringing this up. Yes, we have, the presence. Tomorrow is the Merida training that I will be hosting here with all our agents. And obviously, it's always a good possibility. You should know this in advance, by the way. We are having boot camps, which is close. In the US, you're calling roadshows or something like that, more or less. So this is in Mexico, along with all Latin American leaders as well. We are throughout the whole country, presenting and training our agents, but at the same time, we're presenting our model. So we have more agents coming on board, productive agents, so we can do more business. So these are like the in-person roadshows that we're doing. The Explain Cala that we have as well. The BAM that I know that you call them in English, Trackstar, which I know that this one already changed. I need to update this one into Learn World, which is our new learning platform. Group mentoring for the brokers, mentoring teams, national events. And as I already mentioned, we are members of the National Association of Realtors here in Mexico. And obviously we will be at the eXp event next week in Barcelona. I will be in Miami, guys. By the way, if you plan to be in Barcelona and you want to have a conversation with me, send me a text through Instagram, and I'll be more than glad to meet you right in the place where we will be hosting the event, so we can have a deeper conversation and let me know how can I help. Or if you end up going into Miami, let me know in advance as well, and we could book, a good lunch and, have a cool conversation. So it's all about connecting, right? That's our business. Then the team that you're looking forward, and maybe already I mentioned a little bit into that, so it's a little bit repetitive. I don't want to go that, but we have the same structure just like in the US. Someone that is going to be taking care of everyone onboarding, which is Fabian, amazing guy. Then Grini Karam, amazing as well, leader as well. She's protecting all our agents as agent services. And then Orte, Spanish smart girl that is always protecting our transactions, so you can obviously reach into the point that we want to. And the finance that we have, and the legal one, which is an external law firm that we have with you guys. And just like anyone within eXp, you could be, getting the icon. Last year, we have 3 icons, which is something familiar and lovely, because I know that in the US, there's a ton of icons, but in Mexico, there was not many. And now we are growing. So I'm so glad to share that we have 3 icons. Our agents can get, the stock award as well, the rev share, which for me, it's my favorite. Don't tell anyone, but it's my favorite. Regus, which is like the office that you can get in the US, you can get them here as well with your membership. And the AMPI affiliation, which AMPI is a Mexican Association of Realtors that I already mentioned. So that's, about it. I know that the split, it's one of the big questions. The split here is 75-25. We have the transaction fee of 5%, which is different from the one in the US, but the rev share is the same 10% that is split, right? So you should know that in advance as well. And the monthly fee that is here in front of you, it's the 75 USD per month, which in Mexican pesos, it's 1,740 Mexican pesos. So basically, this is what I wanted to show all of you guys in terms of a potential presentation. My name is Jesus Gastelum. Call me Chuy, please. You have a new friend here in Mexico. I live in Merida, so if you end up coming into Merida, give me a call and let's have lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever. If you end up, needing something within Mexico, let me know. I'm always ready to help you out, guys. I hope this presentation really helped you to have, a more clarity about what we can do in terms of business and how we can grow. So now I will be opening the floor for all type of questions, inquiries, everything that you might need or, wondering. I'm here with you guys. Joseph, thank you so much, brother, for giving me the space. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. That presentation was fire. Thank you so much for giving us the breakdown in Mexico. I took some notes over here. I learned so many new things, my bro.
Appreciate it.
Everybody that's tuning in, if you guys have questions, feel free to go ahead and put it in the chat. I have one here on Instagram, Chuy, from Hardinger, that's asking, what is the average commission in Mexico?
I love it. Good to know. Great question. So you're going to hear and you're going to love this. So just like in the US, every place is different. So in Mexico, one of the richest states is going to be Nuevo León. Their capital is Monterrey, and San Pedro Garza, the municipality next door, is the wealthiest in the whole country. But I bring this because they will have the lowest commission rate in all the country. That's a 3%. And obviously, if you get the split, that's 1.5. But listen up. If you go to Riviera Maya, you start getting 8%. If you go into Riviera Maya, this is Riviera Nayarita, which is the Puerto Vallarta and Bahía Banderas, Nayarit, the Pacific. So you'll get in Mazatlan, you'll get as well like 6, 7, 8%. But in Los Cabos, which is a little bit southern, sometimes you can get a 10 or more. And if you're in Riviera Maya, you can get something close to that. In Merida, where I live, it's a 4%. Sometimes you'll get, but our listings, for example, as I mentioned, I'm a broker. So home and investment, my broker company, we used to list all the properties. We still list the properties. Now it's running by itself in 6%, right? Plus VAT. So that would be changing a little bit. So if you need more information into specific city, let me know. But as you can see, it's going to be changing a lot depending on the city.
That's awesome. Quick question, a follow-up on that, Chuy. What does off markets look like in Mexico?
So it's really interesting. So, within the association, sometimes before a property is going to go out and stuff like that, between agents and these big communities such as like eXp, we can tend, to go and say, hey guys, I already, get the contract of this property. Is not going to be right now into the market, but I want to let you know in advance. So if you have someone that is willing and ready to, move fast, this is it. But you should know that you need the contact for someone within the state or the city that you're interested, because if you want to know properties off market, you should get in contact with the right agent, because if not, they will send you like really bad information. I didn't mention this, but everyone should know something. I know that in the US, there's more than 1 million real estate agents. In Mexico, we are thinking about a 300,000. But listen up, what I'm going to say is something that I'm not proud of, but it's something that I'm telling you, so you contact the right person. The National Association of Realtors, they have more or less like 7,000 of those 300. I mentioned once again, we have more or less like 300,000 Mexican real estate agents. And of that total, just like 7,000 is part of the Mexican Association of Realtors, which is a like small minority. Why you tell me this, Chuy? Well, because still, given that it's an informal market, sometimes you can get a lot of people that they will brag and they will be saying that they're real estate agents, but they don't know the business. They do not have the license. They do not have the knowledge. They do not have the, the real estate market experience. They don't have anything, but they brag publicly that they are. And sometimes you can find people that have tons of followers and they're not even good agents, right? So my advice is always talk to the broker and let us know, who you want to be doing business with. We don't want to bother. We want to help. So I'm telling everyone this information because if you want to do business in Mexico, you could be having the best experience ever. But if you're with the wrong realtor, then it could become like hell. So my suggestion is knock the door of the professional. We are always welcome, right? Because that's what we do. That's what we want. So contact us, and if you see that Chuy is not, replying back really quick, you should know that I already have a twin, just like Glenn Sanford. I already have my twin, and he's going to reply right away to you in WhatsApp. And you could be asking him, who should I contact Chuy for a transaction or for a referral anyway? And they will give you the right name and the mobile phone, Fabian's email account, everything. So you can move faster in that sense as well. Because sometimes I'm, always traveling and like meeting agents, stuff like that. So I will have that, defect, as we say here in Spanish. So my defect is I don't reply really quick to messages, to WhatsApp messages. In Mexico, we don't do SMS. We do everyone WhatsApp. That's something important culturally that you should know. We don't do SMS here. Everyone goes through WhatsApp. So if you want to connect to the Mexican market agents and clients and so on and so forth, download your WhatsApp and download WhatsApp Business even better. So that's just fun, but you should know that you should do business with a professional, not just go into the social media and think that you're doing with a professional, because you could get a cool surprise or maybe not a cool one.
That is so good, Chuy. It actually is a perfect segue that somebody was asking, what is the AI advancement in Mexico for real estate?
Well, it's moving forward. They should know that Mexico is the leader when it comes for prop tech, right? Mm-hmm. So we are like driving. And for example, you could even be Argentinian or Colombian, but our market is the bigger one. After Brazil, that I love Brazil. I'm always telling, Marco, our country leader in Brazil, if you want to meet him, he's the best person ever. But everyone speaks Spanish but them. So what I'm saying is that when it comes about the bigger market, because Brazil is bigger than our country in terms of population, there are like 250 million, like double our size of the country and size of the population, but they don't speak Spanish. So when it comes about Spanish, we are the bigger market. So when it comes about prop tech, and you are living in Argentina, in Paraguay, in Uruguay, which are like smaller countries, and they want to grow big, they come to Mexico. So we have here tons of really good AI companies, prop tech companies, that they're offering in mortgages and all the value proposition. You always have something between AI that is like skyrocketing. It's really interesting how we are growing in that sense as well. So if you have a particular question, my colleague that asked in terms of AI, let me know. But we are always, welcoming, and we are within the eXp family, right? So, I love technology. Personally, I love technology. So I'm always hunting for that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that, Chuy. I also wanted to follow up on, I know we were talking about attraction earlier on, and you I wanted you to see if you could cast a little vision for us, right? You said there's 300,000, agents roughly in the country. How many eXp agents are there currently? And what do you envision growth to look like in the next 3 to 5 years in Mexico?
Okay. I love because when you ask this, you can go and ask Glenn's twin, and we can get Glenn Sanford reply back. So what Glenn is saying is that he wants to have more agents abroad than in the US. That's what the vision that we have for the company. And when it comes about Mexico, what Glenn's always saying is that as well, if we get just like 10% of the market share, that would be amazing. But we don't have to get everything, but just like to get a big glimpse, in terms of how big we can grow. I am confident that we are right now in a place where we can grow, and I'm not being too cocky. I'm being conservative. In the following 5 years, we should be growing like 5x where we are right now. So if you are interested in agent attraction, you should know that right now is the right time to start getting in contact with the Mexican agents and telling them how cool is eXp. But it's going to be even cooler if you bring a whole brokerage productive team. Let me share the story, Joseph, because in Ecuador, I was there 2 weeks ago with our boss, Felix Bravo, amazing guy, and Sarah Hutchinson from marketing, Virginia Restrepo, our Latin American leader, Peru, Ricardo, he's an amazing guy. Well, our current leader in Ecuador, and that's why I'm bringing this up, he used to be part of a big franchise. He was the top one, right? 4 offices, more than 200 agents. He quit, and now he's in eXp, and he's leading Ecuador. So when I'm saying that there's a big probability that now is a good time to start growing, not just in Mexico, but in Ecuador, in Peru, with Ricardo, in Brazil. Brazil is huge. And in Brazil, I'm saying that we have few within the Mexican Association of Realtors. In Brazil, Joseph, they have 600,000 agents that are member of their Association of Realtors, the national one. So it's a huge market, right? So if you speak Portuguese, then you should be knocking on the door of all the Brazilian agents, because you're going to go high as hell. And Marco Mota, which is our current leader, you should, getting in touch with him. So if you really know how to speak Portuguese, it's a big opportunity for you to go and start your own recruitment as well, strategies. And I could be presenting you to Marco and the growth director. Her name is Mateus. He's doing a fantastic job, but fantastic. So, in Latin America, we're growing big, and there's more coming. I'm not going to say more into that in terms of growth in Latin America, but there's, more countries coming up. So if someone is willing to grow, not just in Mexico, obviously I will always tell you that grow in Mexico, but you can grow anywhere in Latin America.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We had Felix on the call a few months back, and he was really excited about what's happening in Latin America.
Oh, yeah. And the good thing that I love, I would say that it's a little bit biased, but he's Latin American, right? So that's lovely, and he's a great leader as well. But I know that he pays, attention to Europe, Asia, everyone. He's a good, leader in that sense. But I know that a piece of his heart, really brings a good vibration when it comes about Latin America. So we're doing a fantastic job here.
Yeah, 1,000%, 1,000%. I don't see any other questions on Instagram, but would love to close out with you, sir. I know we're getting close to the top of the hour. Our community, our real estate industry really appreciates the contributions that this company has provided, and just be able to have like a no border collaboration is life-changing.
I agree. I was speaking yesterday to a potential broker that wants to join eXp. I love traveling, right? This is the map that is behind me. And I do believe that real estate is nowadays like a flat world. And to do business internationally sounds easy, and I know that it's not. And I know that in eXp, it's thanks because of the model, that how it works, in the cloud, and how we have the platform to really be able to connect with each other. So what I hope, Joseph, is that today, at least, from these 4 highways, some of the people who are already listening, if you're interested into knowing a little bit more into this, give me a call, send me a text, give me a message, because what I want to do is, really be able to help you out to grow your business. Because once again, and this is what I love about eXp, is your success is our success. So we want to see you thriving, right? And if there's anything that you didn't understood quite well, or you want to come back into something, let us know. We are here to serve. One of my favorite books is called The Paradox by James Hunter. And the leadership has changed worldwide. In the past, it was everyone, in the bottom trying to make comfortable the boss, because he's the leader, he's the owner. But nowadays, like, things has changed. And now we are the facilitators, because our main clients are the agents and the brokers who are part of our community. And what I want is to make them, really more productive and, see how they thrive within this business, but no locally, now internationally.
So powerful. So powerful. Thank you for that, sir. I know Betty has a question. Let's ask it. We got a couple minutes. Betty's asking, with being a dual country real estate agent, would having a non-agent translator be allowed to translate for an agent?
Okay, I didn't understood what. Well,
maybe
like
she's
what?
asking. Yeah, maybe she's asking. I know Betty. Maybe she's asking that she doesn't speak Spanish. If she had a translator involved in her transaction, is that allowed?
Oh, for sure. Like, for example, here in Mexico, Betty, you should know that the notarios, which is the one that you have a title company in the US. In Mexico, we have the notarios, which is a different form, because I know that you have a notario as well in the US, but these guys will only validate the document. That's it. The notarios in Mexico is the big boss. So they are the ones working on behalf of the governments. They're the ones charging the taxes, and they will be actually the ones doing the deed, the title, everything. So they have a big responsibility. And I say this because when they go through a transaction, you could have bilingual, from letter of intention and promesa de compraventa, you could have bilingual contracts, and we have those. Mm-hmm. But when it comes about the final deed, that's going to be in Spanish. But one of the things that is, actually important, the notario will be requesting that they have a formal translator, because they don't want to, obviously, getting involved in problems. So later on, maybe, the buyer says, hey, but nobody told me about this and that. So obviously, there's always a translator in the transaction. And if there's none, you could be claiming and saying, hey, guys, I don't want to sign, and I want the notario to assign me a translator because I'm not getting all of it. Sometimes, and you should know this, Betty, as well, sometimes if you have a bilingual real estate agent, sometimes he could be, representing you pretty well if you trust him, which I believe that if you're buying with him or her, you might be trusting, right, that person. But if you don't feel that comfortable, you can always tell the notario brings a translator. It's going to be on your cost. That's important. The notario is not going to be paying for that, nor the agent. But you are allowed to have a translator in real time for closing the deal.
Outstanding. I hope that answers your question, Betty. It looks like it did, my friend. Such a great question. I'm telling you guys, team, this has been my experience with international growth and transactions. These are the kind of questions that come up sometimes, but we're so solution-based that no matter what it is, we're going to seek and we're going to find solutions to make sure that every problem is resolved and that we end up on the positive, guys. So, Chuy, thank you so much again, my brother, for being with us this morning. Your time is appreciated, much valued. I'm looking forward to seeing you when you come into California here in a couple weeks.
For sure.
Absolutely. Let's give Chuy a big round of applause, team. Thank you so much, my brother. Appreciate you. Have a blessed day, and we'll be in touch here shortly.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you so much for all the community. Remember, you can send us a text through Slack, Workplace, Instagram in Chuy Gastelum Coach. I'll be here ready to serve and help you out, guys. See you and have a great blasting week. Increase your sales and skyrocket this 2025.
Let's go. Thank you, Chuy.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was phenomenal, guys. Hey, I absolutely love connecting with our country leaders, and Chuy is just an exemplary leader. Again, if you guys should absolutely get in touch with Chuy. Follow him on social media. And if you guys are interested in that conversation that he had shared about co-sponsorship, or what does it look like to get transactional in Mexico, Chuy is a great direct connection for that, but I also want to be a conduit of information as well. So just reach out to any one of us and we'll make sure that you get the answers that you're looking for. And that co-sponsorship thing is absolute fire. We've been doing it with some amazing agents across the globe. So reach out to me, and I would love to answer your questions very specifically about that. So thank you guys for your time. As we wrap up the last few minutes here, I want to invite all of you guys to keep coming back. We're hosting these master classes every single Tuesday, and we just continue to bring the best of the best in every single industry, in real estate, in entrepreneurship. So it's been quite phenomenal. Pat, if you could you put up the flyer for next week's call? Let's go ahead and promote that. Here we go, guys. Next week, highly anticipated. I'm bringing on my brother, Mike Sherrard, out of Canada. He is a top attractor and a social media expert at eXp on YouTube. This gentleman right here is so top notch. And in that conversation, we're going to talk about how to scale your business with social media. I'm telling you guys, this is one that you do not want to miss. Don't want to miss it. Next week's call is going to be absolute fire. So no matter what platform you're watching this, if you want the direct link to sign up for this class next week, go ahead and just throw a fire or comment in any of the comment boxes on any social media platform. And my team and I will reach out to you guys directly to get you guys signed up, linked up, and seated for this amazing event. I know Mike usually charges mega money for his periods of instruction, and we're excited to bring it to our community. Okay. All right, guys. Well, once again, thanks for tapping in this Tuesday. You guys have an amazing day out there. Stay blessed, stay faithful, and we'll see you guys next week, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time sharp. Have an amazing day. Let's make it a great one.